On the previous class, we finished with a little error saying that, well, essentially we don't have implemented the index action in our skill controller. That is completely true. But what is going to do the index action? Well, essentially this is going to return a view containing the full list, let's say the index of the skills in this case, and essentially can be the same for the projects that we are going to see in the following class. And in that view, we are going to show all the details for all the skills, the name, the color, and some kind of actions to edit, to delete them, and so all of that. So essentially that means that we need to go to our controller in our skill controller, of course, here in HTTP controllers, and that is skill controller. And we are going to create our first method here, which is index. Index is going to return, so an inertia view. An inertia is going to render a specific view into our pages. So this is going to be inside a skills folder, and we are going to call this all. Of course, the extension is going to be all that view. And then we are going to send to this specific view the information that we need. And in this case, the only thing that we need is the list of skills. So we are going to resolve that using skill all. Perfect. So here we need to import the definition of inertia, coming of course from inertia here, and of course as well the definition of skill. So pretty simple this time. We are rendering an inertia view, sending the list of skills to this specific view. But yeah, this specific view does not exist yet, so we need to create it. So we need to go to resources, JS, and there inside the pages we are going to create a new file which is going to be skills/all.view, and then we are going to put the contents of this. So I already prepared the contents for this because this is going to be a table, so we are not going to waste some time creating the styles because all of that is some things that we already know. So let's just paste it here, and we're just going to explain you all of this. Essentially, we have the regular app layout that we have in our dashboard. You can see this here, where we have the header with the dashboard, so we have essentially the same here. In this case, of course, the name is skills. Then we have a table with the list of skills. So if the list of skills is not empty, basically the length of these skills is greater than 0, we are going to show the table. If not, so we are going to show something, say there are no skills yet. Let's create one, and this is going to be in border red and all of that. Pretty functional. Then inside the table we are going to have the header of the table saying that we have the name, the color, and the several actions. All of that, we have the max weight, we have the borders, we have some modification, for example, to say, hey, only with small displays we are going to use the padding X of 6. Otherwise, we are going to use in the largest one the padding X of 8. Take a look, play with that. You can remove it, change the resolution of your window, play with that, and get it fully functional. And then we can say that the table is going to take the full width of our display, and we are going to have all of the different elements in the header, name, color, and actions, all of them pretty consistent with the elements, the location of the text, and the paddings. Then in the body of the table we are using a for, going through the list of skills, calling this skill, and then we are going to show once again very consistently with the padding, the skill name, the skill color, and then finally using jet button we have the edit and the delete. For now, those are not implemented. Of course, we are going to take care of them in following classes, but here it is in the border on background red, and here is going to be on indigo, pretty nice. But well, the JavaScript is not here, and we are going to take care of that because this is essentially the point here, to learn the JavaScript side and play with that. And probably you are taking care of all of the details because we need to import the definition of app layout, we need to import the definition of the elements of jet button that we are using, and any other that we may have. So let's create our own now manually the scripts. So let's create the tag, we don't need the type, and inside we have the regular thing. We need to import some definitions, so we are going to start importing the definition of the app layout, and this is going to come from, let's open that in quotation, at slash, and remember this comes from the list of layouts that we have here. We have this folder there, here it is. So we have layouts, and there it is, app layout. Perfect. And essentially we are going to be doing the same in the case of jet button, pretty consistent. Let's be sure to write it correspondingly. And this is gonna be in Jetstream folder. And of course, the name is just button. So we already have two of those components. We are importing them, so let's use it. So we can export that list of definitions in the default. This is basically an object where we are defining the components, which is an object as well, containing inside the components that we already have, app layout and jet button. Separating them, of course, with a comma. Here it is. And finally, but not less important, remember, we are receiving the list of skills here from the controller, so we need to declare them as properties of our component. So we have here props, which is once again an array, and this time we only have one, which is skills. And remember, this is an object. Perfect. So if everything is okay, we should be able to essentially go there, refresh, and verify how it looks like. So let's go here. Let's do refresh just in case. Let's open the console to verify if we have any error. And there it is. We have in our single page application the list of pages, and we are looking this pretty good. You can see here we have a square with the color. You can verify how it is working. You probably already know. We have here in the color creating a span, which is going to be rounded with a corresponding padding and margin, saying that the class specifying in this case the background color comes from the property color from this skill. So this is essentially what we are showing here. Then we show the actual name of that specific element, background yellow, background red, background green, and the name of the specific element, in this case the skill. And we have the edit and delete that don't do basically anything in this case, but don't worry, we are going to take care of that in a following class. So that's all for now. Remember, we are sending the information. We already know all of this. We are not discovering nothing new. We know that we need to send the properties, and the properties can be sent from the controller, in this case, using the inertia render, specifying what we are doing, what we are rendering, and this is what we are rendering here using the app layout and the jet button. That is all that we have here. So let's do essentially the same in the case of projects in the following class, but remember that the projects had a little bit more of attributes and an interesting part to calculate basically dynamically the name of the tag for the icon. See you there.